Friday, Governor Brewer released a budget plan that continues to push Arizona down the wrong track and makes even more devastating cuts in education, jobs, and health care. By now, you have all seen this plan and her failure to lead, what her failure to lead does to middle-class families, and so have we. So today, we thought we would take the opportunity to point out a few of the many things Governor Brewer did not tell Arizonans about her budget plan. I'd like to talk first about Governor Brewer's proposal to make cuts to public safety. Governor Brewer says she wants to eliminate the Department of Juvenile Corrections to save the state $70 million. But the reality is, 1,000 people will lose their jobs, and Governor Brewer wants to shift that $70 million burden onto local county governments, who already have budget crises of their own to deal with. That means the counties will have to deal with thousands of juvenile offenders without the funding to do so, and on top of other costs, the governor plans to shift that onto counties as well. Counties also aren't equipped to handle juvenile offenders, many of whom are sexually violent predators who could prey on other child offenders who have committed lesser crimes like graffiti. By proposing eliminating juvenile corrections, an important facet of public safety in Arizona, Governor Brewer has failed to lead and continues to push Arizona down the wrong track. It's obvious that we can't solve this budget from one side of the aisle. That's why House Democrats once again are asking that the governor engage House and Senate Democrats and Republicans together in bipartisan, bi-party talks. Please ask Sarah if you haven't received a copy of the letter from us to Governor Brewer asking that she engage in those bi-party talks. Representative Sinema.
Thanks, Representative Lujan. As you all have no doubt seen, one of the starkest proposals in Governor Brewer's budget is the cut to kids' classrooms. Governor Brewer says that she's making a net cut of $44 million to education, but the reality is that her proposal cuts nearly $750 million from K-12 public schools. Now, that accounts for the misconception that $470 million in federal stimulus funds will be backfilled. We know it won't be backfilled because Governor Brewer's own proposal states that even though per-pupil funding in 2009 was $3,911 per student, under her current proposal, funding in FY 2011 will only be $3,370 per student, lower than 2006 levels. Governor Brewer also has chosen not to fund the annual 2% inflation rate mandated by Prop 301. In addition, this accounts for over $200 million of cuts that she plans to make to building renewal funds that help prevent things like roof collapses, 3 of which happened just last year: McDowell Mountain Elementary School in Fountain Hills, C.I. Wagner Elementary School in Tempe, and Santa Maria Middle School in Tolleson. It's also obvious that building renewal funds haven't been funded for 3 years, and at that point has only been fully funded one time. Within her $750 million cut, Governor Brewer also plans to eliminate all-day kindergarten, a crucial program for early learning. This will force parents to have to pay tuition to keep their kids in public schools. Governor Brewer also plans to eliminate all gifted programs in the state that encourage and help develop some of the best and brightest students in our state. This $750 million cut to classrooms is on top of already the largest cut in education in our state's history that she made just last year. We all know that Arizona ranks at the bottom of the nation for education funding already. It's simple. Quality education is the key to attracting successful businesses and jobs to Arizona that stay here and thrive. We don't have that incentive now, and Governor Brewer's proposal just pushes education farther down the wrong track. In addition, we see the problems that this proposal has for health care. Looking further into the budget proposal, we've seen how much Governor Brewer wants to cut from health care, especially kids and seniors. She plans to eliminate kids' care and send Prop 204 back to the ballot, something that the voters have already approved. In her budget, she proposes cutting millions of dollars in health care costs. Her plan would leave over 360,000 children, adults, and seniors without any form of health care. This means that fewer people will be able to seek preventative care, and more people will seek care through hospital and emergency rooms. This also means that people who need transplants to live won't be able to get them. People who need communication devices to talk and wheelchairs to move won't be able to get them. It also means that people who have serious mental illnesses like schizophrenia won't be able to get the care that they need. And seriously mentally ill people without treatment get even more ill. They can hurt themselves or even others. It's not hard to think of a worst-case scenario here. Look what happened just a year ago when a schizophrenic man in Tolleson didn't get the health care he needed and subsequently beat a 10-year-old boy and a 7-year-old cousin to death with a baseball bat in the park. It is wrong to rob health care from kids and seniors. Disrespecting the voters and making these kinds of cuts to health care are the wrong priorities for our state. Instead, Democrats support a balanced budget solution that cuts wasteful government services, closes tax loopholes, utilizes federal stimulus dollars, and implements tough immigration reform. Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Representative Sinema. There are a lot of problems with Governor Brewer's budget proposal, and 21 of those problems is the closure of our state parks throughout Arizona. State parks serve not only as an important historic and natural tool for our small and rural communities to survive, but they bring vital jobs and create strong economies for these small and rural communities. Take, for example, the Tombstone Courthouse Historic State Park. This state park brings vital jobs and businesses to southern Arizona, most notably in and around the Tombstone area. Yet, Governor Brewer's budget does nothing to address the closure of that state park and others. I actually received an email over the weekend from another individual in Safford, Arizona, a reverend in that area, talking about the closure of Roper State Park. That state park brings $2 million annually to that area. Closing that state park will devastate businesses and jobs throughout that area. This is short-sighted for the future of our state. And there's been an idea floated out there to privatize our state parks. We've heard that from many Republicans down here. That, again, is a short-sighted move. It does not protect and value these historic and natural treasures that I think all Arizonans love. And I think the last thing we want to see is Arizona handing over these treasures to private interests that may or may not have the best interest of the state in their heart. And I think the last thing we want to see as Arizonans is Coca-Cola Karcher Caverns or the Tostitos Tombstone State Park. That is not what we want for the history of this state. And I think the most troubling thing about this budget, though, is it really doesn't reflect the values of Arizona. I'm a native Arizonan, and this is not the Arizona I know and love. This is not the Arizona I grew up in. This budget that we look at today does not contain what we need the most, and that is smart, common-sense solutions for the people of this state. Instead of closing loopholes and exemptions that we have talked about for over a year now down here at the state legislature, this budget continues to leave these gaping holes open in our budget. It makes no sense that warranties for big electronics purchases are still exempted from taxes. It makes no sense that the rich get tax breaks on their country club memberships and their day spa treatments. It makes no sense that all of these exemptions exist while we are closing 21 state parks that will harm thousands of Arizonans in small and rural communities throughout Arizona, which are the very lifeline of this state. This budget does not reflect our values, and this budget is leading Arizona down the wrong track once again. And I think with that, I'm going to hand it over to Sarah, and we'll take questions.
Okay, I want to hear from Sarah.